What's up guys, Revertup7 here. Welcome to a new series on our channel, Hot Wheels Velocity X car reviews. We have done something like this before with the same title. That is when we open up the Hot Wheels Velocity X cars that we needed for our collection. That is not going to be part of this series, and we will be doing those cars again in this format. So what this is we break down the car's in-game performance, what it's like to play as it, and then we also tie in the physical Hot Wheels toy and see how close it is to the car in-game and how it performs on the track in an all-in-one graded system. We're going to be doing one for every single car in Hot Wheels Velocity X, and this is going to be, hopefully, our main flagship series on this channel. So let us know if you enjoy it, because I want to make this an enjoyable series for both of us. I do have a little quick disclaimer, though, for the video game screenshotted footage. Okay, so there's going to be 2 watermarks over the gameplay footage, and that is because I use Bandicam to record myself playing the game on my Windows 8 laptop, and since I like to edit stuff on my Mac using iMovie, I have to send them to my Mac. So I can't do that because the footage is usually too large to email, so I put it in my Google Drive, and when I download it from my Google Drive on my Mac, it's an AVI file, so I use Movavi to convert it to .mp4 or MOV, so that's the second watermark. It's pretty obnoxious, but I'm saving up for a licensing key, so we really won't have to deal with that much longer. But as far as the Bandicam watermark goes, that's not that big of a deal. It's not obnoxious or anything, and I bet you're used to seeing it by now because people have been recording with the free versions of Bandicam for a long time now. But yeah, new microphone, and I hope I can use this microphone and more advanced editing as a step in the right direction for this channel's production quality, and I'm going to start implementing this stuff in this new series. Okay, we're going to start off with some battle footage, and then we're going to get into other things, maybe drag racing, joyriding, but battle footage up first. So, Twin Mill 2, the weapons are mounted at the top of the roof or the cockpit, and this is a good position. The car's pretty low to the ground, so you can get direct hits much easier than, say, a Hyperliner, Surf and School Bus, or even like Mega Duty. Some cars that are a little bit taller, it's harder to get direct hits because you can go over your enemy sometimes, or if you're in the air, even in the slightest, you'll miss. You don't have that problem with Twin Mill, and the car's also doesn't have any body roll like, say, Showstopper or MST Suzuka, so you can line up shots a lot easier, and while there is a ton of understeer, the car does handle pretty predictably. As a guy just got lasered there. The car only has 30 armor, so if you do get hit directly, you're gonna have a bad time. So do play a little conservatively with starter cars as you would any other car with low armor, but you don't notice how bad the armor stat is that much, just because the car's easy to maneuver and it's easy to do damage with yourself. This is my first time doing this, so bear with me with the commentary. I'm trying to give insightful commentary on each car, and this is the first one in this series. They should get better with time. So moving on to the drag racing footage. Okay, so drag racing with Twin Mill. The car has a 44 speed stat and a 30 grip stat, which equates to pretty weak launch. The car doesn't really get anywhere off the line. You're not beating anything off the line, and it doesn't top out. Excuse me. Doesn't top out anywhere impressive either. The car will do 140 miles an hour flat out without turbo, and with turbo a little more at 175. Not impressive stats at all, but it's not trying to be a extremely fast car. It's one of the starters, and you're not really expecting much. The only problem is I come back to play as Attitude or MST Suzuka occasionally because there's fun parts of those cars that I still enjoy and would like to go back to. I don't care about Twin Mill at all. There's nothing about this car that makes me want to come back to it. It's not necessarily good looking. I think the paint scheme's kind of ugly. It's not fast. It's not good at battling. It doesn't grip well. Doesn't handle well. And worst of all, it has an extremely annoying exhaust note. So that doesn't help anything. I think it shares the same exhaust note as Mega Duty, maybe 1 or 2 other cars in the game, but it's a very irritating exhaust note. It's loud, high-pitched, doesn't even sound like an engine noise. It sounds more like I don't know. There's nothing to even compare it to. It's just some like unrealistic, fake, irritating engine sound, which I'll play a little clip of it now. Yeah, that's not really a nice engine sound, and it really does keep you from going back and playing as this car, at least it does for me, because Attitude has a nice exhaust note. It's good to look at. I mean, it has that going for it. They're pretty much equal stat-wise, but I do come back and play as Attitude occasionally. Twin Mill in the stunt department has a 30 stunt stat. It's not necessarily small, so it does not have what Surf Crate has going for it, and the fact it can complete rotations a little easier because it's smaller. It doesn't have that going for it, so it's pretty much useless if you're trying to get a high stunt score or anything like that. But yeah, not much going for Twin Mill in the game. Okay, so the physical Hot Wheels car of Twin Mill 2. Everything here except for the wheels and a couple decals is spot on. The car in the game has 5-dot wheels. This one has these spoke wheels. I'm not sure the exact name for them. Hot Wheels has a name for all its wheels. I don't know exactly what these are, but sort of remind me of like lowrider tires. They got all those spokes on them. I think Evil Twin has these in the game in Flashfire, but yeah, I don't know why they didn't just put the 5 dots. I mean, I don't know why they didn't just put these in the game, because they could do it. So we got no taillights. There's taillights in the car in game, and there's a little bit of different details that are on the back of the car in the game that aren't on the back of this. I think there's a small Hot Wheels logo on the in-game car, and other than that, this is pretty spot on. So we're going to go into this car's track capabilities and then grade it there. Okay, so this is the test track that I'm going to be using on all the Hot Wheels Velocity X cars. It's a steep downhill into a loop, into the old style U-turn, and then a booster launches it to a new style U-turn farther away, into a jump on the same momentum, and should be a good test track. Has everything you'd want in it. There's the Hot Wheels 50th anniversary card that I'm going to be using as a sort of preview of the track. The problem with Twin Mill, though, is it scrapes through the loops, has very low ground clearance, and a lip that hits the loop whenever the car goes through it, so it can't complete this track normally. Through the old style U-turn, it's too wide and it does fall off halfway through. Through the boosters, it's fine. That clip actually was not wide enough, far enough away. It did make it through. Through the old style, new style U-turn, it's fine. And as long as a car can fit on the track, it can complete a jump, so Twin Mill does as well. Overall, though, this is not a good track car and it couldn't complete the track. Okay, so how the scoring is going to go for the overall car's grade is I'm going to add up all the car's stat points. For example, Twin Mill 2 has 104 in-game stat points, and I'm going to divide that by 10. So 104 out of 400 is going to go to 10.4 out of 40. So a car can earn a maximum of 40 in-game stat points, which is really the most important category. And then I'm going to judge its in-game realism. For example, well, what that is how close the physical car is to the in-game car. And since the physical car came first, I'm going to be judging how close the in-game car came to recreating the physical car. So that's going to be out of 10. And then the third category is its track performance, the physical car's performance on the track. That is going to be judged out of a maximum of 20, which the stats that go into that grade are on the stat sheet for the physical car that is a little farther back. That's the black background with the car that shows all of its stats. There's also one for the in-game car too. So here's how the scores are going to end up. And if you see a problem with this scoring system, let me know. If you see a problem with any part of these videos that you think is unfair to the cars or is a flawed system, let me know, because I'm trying to make this a recurring series and these take a ton of work to make and edit. So let me know so this is an enjoyable thing for both of us. So here we go into the final scores. Okay, so into the final scores. Twin Mill 2 has 104 Velocity X stat points. which is a 10.4 out of 40 when divided by 10. And once again, we do that so that the other scoring departments are still meaningful and so that the in-game stats are still the most important. So on to the in-game realism. Everything but the wheels and some small decals are carried over into Hot Wheels Velocity X, giving the car an 8 out of 10 in in-game accuracy. Next, we have track performance. Mediocre at best, decent through curves, poor through loops, decent jumping, and decent boosters, which gives it a 10 out of 20 track score, giving the final score, giving the car a 38.4 out of 70 for its final score, and out of 100, that is a 55%.